Hey, welcome to my camp. It's a bit of a spoiler video right now, but I'm still working on editing together my episodic content. But I figured I would make this quick video because I'm not sure exactly when I'm gonna get my next episode out because I'm still like filming it and editing it. But here is what I've been working on. I have a tarp hung up. It's not super high off the ground, just enough to block the rain. It rains quite a bit in these parts. And so back in the old days, that's one thing that we used to do. We would string up a tarp over our camp, and it would help keep everybody out of the rain and like keep your tent dry. So I got a tent right here. I haven't set it up yet. I'm about to set it up. And then I've been checking the rules and regulations as to being able to start like a small fire out here. I can start a literal like tiny fire for like cooking and staying warm. So right now I'm technically camping in the Tongass National Forest, so I'm allowed to be here like 14 days before having to move areas. I can't chop down any live trees, but I can gather firewood from the ground, from like the trees and the branches that have fallen and are no longer technically living. It's a lot like the old days, so that is just what we would do. Sometimes we'd be out on an island that literally there was nobody else on. We do the same thing when we purchase property. Like in Browntown, the very first thing that we do when we hit is you clear out an area. This area is actually already cleared. As I mentioned, I can't like chop down anything. I can just move over like dead sticks. But after that, you like hang a tarp, and get a spot for a fire pit, get your tent pitched, and make it slowly become more like a home. And back in the old days, you could literally homestead to where you could literally own the land if you lived on it long enough. Those rules are no longer in place, but you are still allowed to camp up to like 14 days, which is cool. Underneath the canopy with the trees, the rain doesn't get in as much, but it's still pretty rainy, so it's good to have a tarp up. Over this way, if you want to follow me down this way, I've got a creek that's running behind me. And there's also a road. It's about 100 or so, maybe 200 or more feet up that way. And so it's the road that leads to different smaller towns in Prince of Wales Island. There's like Thorn Bay, there's Craig, Klawock, Kaufman Cove, lots of different small towns spread out throughout the island itself. So this is where there's a large creek. I don't think you can quite see it from here, but you can probably hear it. It's running all the way from up that way, down here. Got ocean and stuff off way in the distance. So Prince of Wales is a water world, basically, because it is so close to the ocean. It's an island, and it's technically the 4th largest island in the United States, and it's like the 97th largest island in the world. There's a population of about 5,000 people on Prince of Wales, which is spread out throughout the numerous smaller towns. But a lot of the people in this area have boats and stuff as well. Obviously not everybody, but it is a total water world because it's so much on the shore. So a lot of people depend on crabbing and fishing and stuff like that to help sustain themselves in a total self-sustainable lifestyle, which is obviously how I grew up with my siblings and stuff. So, okay, there, you can kind of see it there, off in the distance. So it's actually a pretty good sized one. It's been getting a lot of rain. So Prince of Wales normally rains like 80% of the time. It rains a lot here. But it's been raining a little bit extra the past few days, and so all the creeks and rivers are a little bit more rapid than usual. Now, there is still fish running in some of these streams. A little bit of a spoiler for my upcoming episode, but I got my fishing license. However, I am not able to fish with my hands. So, being out of state, technically, because nowadays I'm a resident of Washington, I cannot fish with my hands. I have to use string with a hook on it, essentially. Fishing Game told me that I could wrap the lure and the string, the fishing lure, around my hand and, slowly let it out like that. I could wrap it around a stick. I don't need a pole, but I have to use a string and a hook, which is unfortunate because just between y'all guys and I, I am not the greatest at fishing out of rivers and stuff like that because I've always fished with my hands in rivers. So in the ocean, I'm good. I can drop a buzz bomb down, jig a couple times, pull fish straight out of the ocean, no problem. River fishing is a little bit different, but I'm gonna give it a try. I'm sure I'll be able to snag something, hopefully, and get some good eating because, man, a salmon right now would be really, really delicious. I'm about to start fixing the rest of my camp, so I still gotta put the tent. I got to gather rocks and stuff for my fire pit. So in order to have like a fire pit out here, you've got to make sure that it is, you know, safe. And so you need so many rocks and stones. I can only do like a small fire to like cook and stay warm. But yeah, I love it. I love it. Alaska is, it's my favorite place. It really is my favorite place. It's like pure freedom, pure, you know, self-sustained lifestyle, especially if you've got the right piece of property. You get a boat on that. And that's one thing that I'm hoping to do while I'm here is, you know, get that piece of property. I don't want to do too many spoilers from an upcoming episode, but it's possible that they don't want to take a down payment for the property. They might want the full price. If that is the case, it's unfortunate, but there's other properties around here, and I'm going to come up next year if I don't get one while I'm up here now, and I will come back next year and find a piece of property. I'm going to find one eventually. And I would love to build just a small trapper shack is what I'm going for. Like a teeny tiny trapper shack. So I do want to be careful out here. There are definitely bears and stuff still. They'll start like hibernating pretty soon, but I've actually seen bear out even when there was still snow on the ground before. So you always want to be careful. But yeah, I'm going to come down later to the creek down here. I'm gonna put my lure and string in and see if I can't catch anything. But I want to have like a fire pit, get my tent pitched first and stuff like that. I'm still working on getting all the latest episodes filmed. So I'm trying to do about at least 5 more episodes worth, and then I'll probably drop in a few like update videos just kind of showing y'all guys as well. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you've been liking the longer form content that I've been doing, that is done more like episodic instead of like this video, which is done more like a video vlog style. And you'll let me know which you prefer, or if you prefer both. Got some mushrooms down here. A lot of mushrooms actually grow in Alaska because of the wetness, especially here in the southeast. So it's actually pretty wet. As I mentioned, it literally rains 80% of the time here. All right, where did I leave the other half to my tripod? Yeah, but this tarp here, I tied up just a little ways up in the tree. And I intentionally have it where it's tilted down a little bit. So a little water is gonna still pool up around the middle, and I might have to like push it out. But for the most part, if this gets too much water, because of the way I have it tilted, it's going to just tilt it itself, and it should drain out most of the water on its own. Sometimes with tarps like this, you wanna put like a big stick in the middle of it, and it kind of pooches it up to the top. But I don't need a ton, I'm not super picky. And this isn't like a long-term camp spot. I'm only gonna be here a little while. And then I'm going to be taking off. So I'm hoping to scout out that property pretty soon. And hopefully they'll be willing to take at least a down payment on it. And I'll be able to get the ball rolling on actually building my own place. So there's a difference in making a temporary camp and then making a more permanent one that's to start their home. For instance, here, I can't like landscape the ground at all. So I gotta just basically set up my tent in this vicinity without like moving like live trees or anything like that. On a property that I own myself, I can literally move anything out of the way, totally landscape it, get a pad for the house to start building on. I can also, on my property, take down trees in order to build the trapper shack. So I'm hoping the property will have enough like trees and stuff like that that I'm able to just build a trapper shack myself, because that's my goal, is to build a trapper shack. Obviously, if there aren't enough trees on my property, I might have to go to a mill and, you know, buy wood or barter for it if people are still up for that, which for the most part people are, but you know, you got to have something to barter as well. And right now, really the only thing I've got to barter is just like, you know, just like work. So I'm going to take you out and show y'all guys where I'm actually set up. So I have my car set up, parked a pretty good ways off the road in like a place where people like sighten their weapons and stuff. And then I hiked here into the woods. Like I said, I'm like at least a few hundred feet off the road where I am. But you can still hear like the traffic pass by. But there's nobody actually in this vicinity. So there's a town a little ways that way. And then there's another town a little bit further that way. And then if you keep going that way and you make a couple turns, there's another town. And then if you keep going way, way, way that way, there's one more. It's connected by like an actual road. But in order to bring a vehicle here, you've got to have either ferried it or barged it in, because there are no roads that connect Prince of Wales to the mainland at all. Prince of Wales is an island, so you need to either fly in. You can fly in, but you're not going to be able to fly a vehicle in. So the best way to get into the actual woods, so a lot of times, especially if it's like an uninhabited area, the woods create an almost kind of a wall, and it's just like bushes and bushes and bushes and almost like a wall. In order to get through it, you gotta crawl through, and then finally it opens up to an area like we just came from. Now, the easiest way to do that is actually to follow the deer trails. So animals, deers and bears, are gonna go through the path of least resistance. So they'll slowly create a road. We always called it like a bush road, a bush highway. And it's where all the deer have crossed through, and then the bears have crossed through, and it leaves a kind of open spot into the woods, which is actually where I found my trail here. I just looked for the entrance that the deer had been using, and then followed that one. So I got my generator set up out here, because inside the woods it's not going to be able to get a signal at all. But out here, I've been able to pick up a little bit of a signal in my camp. So I just have my vehicle parked as close to the woods as I can, as far away from the road as possible. And then I found this little trail that the animals had made, which you can probably barely even tell, but it's a little bit of an entrance, as opposed to this way, just solid woods. You'd have to like make your own trail in a lot of these spots right here, which is actually pretty common for it to be grown up like that in Alaska, because a lot of people, unless they're like hunting, a lot of people really don't go too deep into the woods unless they're hunting or fishing or, you know, something like that. So I've got my okay, a little bit of another spoiler, which, I don't know if I should show you that. Okay, I'm not gonna show that one, okay? Stay tuned for later episodes to see that one. But I got my generator here set up. I got my Starlink over there, and it shoots a wide enough berth of signal that even in my camp inside there, I'm able to get a little bit of a signal. So up this way, there is a couple roads. I think that they were doing some construction on it way out this way, past a bridge, past some of the creeks. And then there's a lot of other trails, like, so Alaska, especially this area, has a lot of like logging trails and stuff like that. And a lot of people, myself included, used to go along the logging trails with like a four-wheeler or a dirt bike or something like that, and just like cruise around, you know, have fun driving on it. So all the old logging roads are actually pretty handy to like drive on and have some fun. Anyway, so the entrance back to my camp, I'm gonna go ahead and get on it. I need to gather stones. I need to put my tent up. So the stones are for the fire. In order to do the fire correctly and safely, you put like rocks and stones around it so that it doesn't like burn the ground. Okay. So back in towards my camp. And voila. So it's not extremely far from my car, but it's plenty off the road to set up the camp, which is initially why I chose this spot, so I could like still have service and do a few lives. All right, so my next step is actually to set up my tent. Now this tent was actually given to me by the same person that was letting me park my car in Haines. He gave me this tent and he basically insisted taking it. I'm actually not sure how big this one is. Hopefully it's not too big to set up in this spot, because this is about the biggest area that I can get without doing a little actual landscaping, which I actually can't do because I don't own the property. I'm just temporarily camping here. And as long as I leave it like I found it, minus like being able to collect fallen wood and stuff like that, then it's good to go. I could stay 14 days, then I think I could move 25 miles or something like that, and then stay another 14. So Alaska's actually good about camping, even if there aren't like open campsites or camps in your area. But anyway, guys, I was just doing a quick update video. Let me know in the comments below what your guys' preferred method of my filming is. If you would prefer just straight up video vlog style like this video, or if you prefer the episodic content that I have been doing. You can let me know in the comments below. Also, if you prefer both, let me know. I will be going live on here later. And I also am trying to do more posts over here on YouTube as well. I keep forgetting to post over here too, because you can like post on YouTube too. I'm a full-time creator on several different social media sites. YouTube is the one that I am trying to build and put my most into right now. And I'm really hoping to have like, my goal is to have 1 million subscribers in 5 years. So I'm hoping I'll be able to get there. If y'all guys want to give me a follow on here and subscribe, I definitely appreciate it. Don't forget to like and drop a comment and let me know what y'all guys think. But man, isn't it beautiful out here? God bless, guys. Stay extreme.